Okay, welcome back. Sorry we had a little technical hiccup. We're current way through ban so far. Saving Private Reckless has banned the Renekton from Necro
There
Guy.
we go.
Renekton a strong pick. With that, hope we're actually live.
I mean, it says we are.
Renekton. Alright, Renekton a really strong pick with that Spear Shojin first build on him, allowing easy combos, and a Katarina ban coming out of Biscuit Force 5. Ban we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen since I've been part of this league. What are your thoughts on the Katarina
So
ban?
Katarina is Juice Me Daddy's pretty much main champion, and I think it's a very solid ban if you let the Katarina through, especially when he's such a standout player in this bracket. I actually think you're trolling. I really do.
That's a fair point. And it looks like that blank ban right there is actually a Kled ban from the side of Saving Private Reckless. These are all top lane bans so far aimed at Necro Guy, minus that Morgana ban.
Yep, and the Twitch being taken away by Biscuit Force 5 as well. Not wanting to play against that. I haven't seen much of So Reckless playing AD carry at all, so I'm not quite sure what his champion pool is, but I can only assume that's targeted at him.
Yeah, it makes sense. And the little Fizz ban, 2 assassin bans versus Juice Me Daddy. I've heard he's great on these mid lane assassins, so recognizing this fact, Biscuit Force 5 decided to, keep him down a little.
I think it's a very smart option, cut down on the team's strongest player and really reduce those options. One thing I'm interested to see, though, is he does have a pocket pick Evelyn that he jungles with, so that could feasibly be a very strong pick for him, although I think it's much more likely we'll see him headed mid lane.
Yeah, it'd be interesting with the flexibility options. And I love this Mordekaiser first pick from Saving Private Reckless. Mordekaiser able to flex into 3 roles right now, being the top mid jungle. Answered by Biscuit Force's Jhin. What do you think about that Jhin opening?
So Jin's a very spicy pick. He actually has decent potential right now. He's sort of sliding under the radar. He's another one of those champions who kind of needs to win lane to be able to play the game very well, and picking it here is a very big risk, especially with no bot lane dropped on the side of Saving Private Reckless. So now if I'm Saving Private Reckless, I'm looking at something that can counter this bot lane here. A nice, Sivir is the first thing that comes to mind against Jhin, that causes problems from in lane. And then I'd probably use something like a Morgana, but unfortunately they ban that, so that's probably not going to happen.
That's fair. And Biscuit Force 5 did pair that Jhin with the Nautilus, a champion that is intent on winning that laning phase. But looking at the other side of the draft, we have Saving Private Reckless picking up the Ahri, essentially removing half of the flex option from Mordekaiser. So now we can assume that Mordekaiser either be top or jungle, making Biscuit Force 5 a little easier for the drafting time.
Yeah, and interestingly enough that you say that, Morpheus played Mordekaiser jungle last week, I believe, so it's on the radar for this team.
Wow, okay. That's even spicier to see. And they answer with a Cho'Gath. Where do you think that Cho'Gath's going to go, top or jungle?
Honestly, it's tough to say. But I remember back when Cho'Gath jungle was absolutely busted, like maybe 6 months ago, something like that. It was an absolute menace in Season 8, but I think it's more likely we see it falling into the hands of Necro Guy top on this one.
Yeah, perhaps. Although Cho'Gath in the jungle has been creeping back into the jungle meta with Predator and large CC teams, and so far Jhin Nautilus can set it up. What do you think about this Varus pick into this Jhin Nautilus comp?
That's going to be something that's contingent upon support matchup, because Varus has a big lack of escape, and one of Jin's strong points is that all-in, especially with this 4th shot. The Nautilus drops Ignite, and then, Jhin can drop the Dancing Grenade and then 4th shot him, and it does lots of damage. Lots of damage.
That does sound miserable.
There's some silver level analysis there, but yeah,
I mean, if it works, yeah.
It's a strong all-in lane. There's not much to say about that. Varus doesn't have that much escape, so he'll just have to watch himself.
Yeah, so getting into the mindset of Saving Private Reckless here, banning Urgot and Kayn, they're not sure where that Cho'Gath is going after all, seeing as they can't decide whether it's jungle or top. And from the side of Biscuit Force 5, removing that Alistair to prevent the Nautilus engage, I imagine. And then the Galio. What do you feel about Galio in this current
Trash.
Alright, but if we just try to get in a mindset here, why do you think they removed this Galio?
I have zero clue, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know who plays that on that team. Maybe I'm just not scouting very well.
Alright, well, channeling their inner Gurg 7, they decided to drop the Nunu and most likely going in the jungle, although I would happily eat my words if I see that Nunu top.
Oh, dude, the Nunu top, you just snowball the wave and just walk away. It's the spiciest thing in the... just walk, man. Walk the jungle, walk anywhere.
Or hear me out,
Ooh.
Nunu mid.
Arguably
Clear the
even
way.
better. The issue is the other laner actually has wave clear, so you can just do nothing. Especially this Ahri.
That's a good point. Maybe not Nunu mid. But we see the Thresh coming in. Okay, so now that we've seen the support pick and we know the bottom lane matchup's going to be, who would you give it to?
Not the pick I was looking for here. This is a very advantageous matchup in the bot lane for Biscuit Force 5. And Nautilus is definitely one of Biscuit Hat's comfort picks as well, so...
Okay, so sounds like you're edging towards the side of Biscuit Force 5 in the bot lane. However, with that Scion pick locked in, we can confirm that Mordekaiser will be in the jungle. And as a Mordekaiser jungler myself, I love to see this pick in the jungle. It clears fast, it has monstrous ganks, and it really deals with the assassins that Biscuit Force 5 did not pick. So how we see the Mountain Heart pick in the mid lane versus Ahri. How do you feel about this matchup?
I think it works in like the traditional... It's like the traditional... Like, I don't want to say low elo mindset, but like in the traditional, like, I don't know what I'm looking for here. It works in that, oh, Ahri has mobility. I just press ult. She doesn't move. Countered. Easy.
Yeah, I see what you're going for in a less flamey way. It's the safe, consistent pick if you want to deal with somebody. I understand what you meant,
sense.
though.
However, I feel that Ahri has more than enough wave clear to be able to play this lane out and probably get an advantage. So I don't know how effective this is going to be.
That's a good point. And looking back to that Jhin pick, we all know that Rob excels on this Jhin pick. However, Saving Private Reckless did pick 1.5 tanks inside of Mordekaiser as an ADC X-main / maybe still main. What do you feel about this Jhin into 2 tanks?
He has a lot of opportunity to play this game, actually. The only rough part is going to be the Scion, but the good news about that is you have the Cho'Gath Feast, and you can just build a Liandry's on Malzahar, so you actually have decent tank busting opportunities from the side of Biscuit Force 5. And the Jhin can actually kite around and avoid the Ahri skill shots, the Thresh hooks in the middle of a team fight, especially once you get moving all around with all of those, with all the bonus movement speed that comes from his, passive.
Is that fear I smell?
Well, with that said, I can't wait to see Rob Smurf not Smurf on these players in this body on his favorite Jhin. But we might see how this match is go. Let's start from top to bottom, right? Scion versus Cho'Gath. How do you feel that's gonna go?
Scion versus Cho'Gath. This could be a farm fest. There's really not much to it.
Right. But if you had to give an edge to somebody, you think it's really gonna be a solid 50-50? Like, what's the game plan up there?
Well, the game plan is both of them can farm. Obviously, that's what they're mostly gonna be doing. Scion, though, he has the map presence with the Unstoppable Onslaught, right? So he can look to gank other lanes, and especially because Cho'Gath wave clears kind of contingent upon mana, and, because it's tank wars, nothing's going to be happening quickly up there. That's wave clear, that's damage, that's everything. So if he can find an opportunity to affect some of the map play, that's going to be his way in. On the side of the Cho'Gath, though, I really don't know. I think I have to give the edge to the Scion. The only thing I can see happening is Scion taking a couple bad trades, the Nunu showing up and being able to gank, and Cho'Gath just feasting the Scion. Like, that seems kind of free, but it doesn't seem that realistic. And if I'm Nunu, I'm looking to pressure the other lanes, especially that Varus Thresh bot. That they're going to have a heyday with that all in down there.
That's an absolutely good point. And actually speaking about that Nunu, let's move into that jungle matchup between this Nunu and, most likely Mordekaiser. How do you think that's going to go?
Well, Mordekaiser's got a decent amount of tank busting things, but, 1v1ing a Nunu isn't necessarily what happens a lot when you have a jungle matchup against that guy. In general, Nunu's just looking to affect the lanes a lot, and he's not looking to encounter the other jungler at all, except if he's looking to purposely steal away a buff with Consume Smite or some cheese like that. So realistically, it's going to be Mordekaiser and Nunu playing the lanes, doing what they can. If I am either of them, I'm heavily focusing on counter ganks this game, right? Because you have so many opportunities to show up in lanes and make plays happen. So keeping tabs on the other jungler is key, not to like counter jungle them or to, you know, fight them, but just to save your lanes. This is going to be a lane focused game for both these junglers.
Absolutely, and you said a lot about where Nunu wants to play his lanes, and I know you mentioned that Mordekaiser wants to play against the Nunu's ganks, but if Mordekaiser were to make an aggressive choice, where would you think he wants to play around?
I think the Scion could be a decent option, especially into the Cho'Gath. Going forward, once Mordekaiser starts getting that Rune Gecko, starts getting items, and they have enough power to bust through the Cho'Gath in the top lane, it could happen. The realistic best choice might be to focus on that mid lane matchup, because Ahri has a lot of spells that she can use to take down Mordekaiser's Void Shield, or whatever the heck that thing is called. And so, Mordekaiser comes in, Flash Claw, easy clap.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good point. And Ahri bringing CC in the lane makes it a lot easier to gank that Malzahar, who does not have mobility. And as we creep into the mid lane, let's get the analysis between that matchup.
Well, Malzahar is looking to wave clear, looking to make some plays happen. Against Ahri, Malzahar probably not going to be able to get the roams off very well, because Ahri has a combination of very good wave clear and roaming potential, which, you know, if we're going forward into this mid game here, it should be a very even matchup. Malzahar with less mobility means he's going to be a bit more of a gank magnet than this Ahri's going to be. But speaking of gank magnets, Nunu shows up to this lane pre-6. They could probably do something, especially with Ahri ult down. Or not even being taken.
Yeah, they just take her flash and he just revisits and kills her every time. I mean, I'm excited to see how they play that around. And then we've talked more than enough about this bot lane. So overall team comps, how do you think Saving Private Reckless wins this game?
It's going to be a rough uphill battle for them, I think. They're going to be looking to minimize their losses in lanes, keep track of this Nunu, and one of their win conditions is going to be Ahri kiting around, finding the kills on Jhin in the mid game. They have Ahri, they have Thresh, they have Varus, they got a lot of CC. They're looking for picks going forward into the mid game. Mordekaiser wants to find the 1v1s as well. He's going to be a lot stronger than Nunu in a dueling sense, and once Mordekaiser hits the Liandry's Rylai's, especially sitting on a Runic Echoes, he's just going to be able to trounce someone. And which means Biscuit Force 5, they're going to have to pay the Mordekaiser tax at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, looking at Biscuit Force 5's team, we were talking about the multiple damage threats on Saving Private Reckless. But looking at Biscuit Force 5, they seem to have 2 threats if you're not really counting Cho'Gath's Feast. So what do you think their win con is going forward?
They want to force 5v5 team fights, and lots of them. They should win every 5v5 team fight that doesn't start with Jhin or Malzahar getting picked by like a Charm, a Hook, or a Varus ult. They should win all of those pretty handily. And like I said earlier, once you pay the Mordekaiser tax, it's going to be tough for Saving Private Reckless to make stuff happen. That being said, they play to the wards. Biscuit Force 5 really got to watch where they're face checking, because if Saving Private Reckless is able to play around their vision, play around the wards, they can easily start finding Thresh hooks, start finding charms, start finding Varus ults to get the engages off. Alternatively, they could just be chilling somewhere and all of a sudden the Scion ult just comes, you know, barreling down the mid lane full throttle, like Indianapolis 500 type deal.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, so now that we've analyzed both teams, top to bottom and full team win cons, which team would you give the edge to for this
Biscuit
game
Force 5,
one?
just purely based upon comp. I'm not going to evaluate player skill because I don't feel like I'm qualified to, but in terms of comp, I like Biscuit Force 5. They have a really good matchup bot. They have a matchup that can stay consistent in the mid lane, and they have a jungler that's able to provide a whole lot of ganking opportunities for both of those lanes, which do have great gank setup. In the top lane as well, the Cho'Gath can easily go even with Scion, transitioning into being a scary, you know, just bulky tank threat going into the late game.
That's a really good point. I mean, I do like that. And I also agree, and I think Biscuit Force 5's team comp is easier to execute as well, especially throughout the game. Interesting little tidbit here. So Nunu's passive applies to the champion with the fastest attack speed on his team when he uses it. Does that ever apply to Jhin?
I don't know. I really don't. So, fun fact, there is one jungler in this game that I refuse to play ever because I'm just horrible at him. I can't.
Me too. Me too.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have both taken a dual oath together to never touch the scumbag champion ever, which
Yeah, Nuna's not fun for you or your opponent. It's
don't
just
tell
not a
him I
good
played
time.
it on my Smurf yesterday.
Oh, okay. What a great time. So, I've got nothing else to analyze, and you've heard Vitas' analysis of the game. So in chat, go ahead and throw your hashtag SPR win or hashtag BiscuitForce5 win and see who votes.
Man,
most.
you're really making me suffer tonight, dog.
I'm trying. Hey, you're gonna get play-by-play when we go in. It's
Yeah.
gonna be easy for you. Then I have to come up with bullshit. Be like, why this play was good.
Streaming. I'm doing I'm setting my scenes. I'm setting the stream. Now you're making me analyze everything, man.
We do it for the people. We do it because the
for the
people want
people.
it. Yeah. Looking at skins here, though. Wow, we got some fancy stuff coming out. We got that Conqueror Varus and that Dragon Knight Mordekaiser going to the game. This will come up soon, and it looks like we'll be loading in the game momentarily, as they've just shut off. I guess we'll do our traditional pause at 10.
And hopefully everything's going to be okay on the stream end. Yeah, like tap out and have a look-see for me real quick.
Yep.
Ah,
I'm staring
beautiful.
at it. It looks good.
Perfect. I love it. It's that PMA LCS production quality, dude.
Only the best. I am having trouble
Same.
loading in, actually. It's just stuck.
Yeah, we'll give it a sec. Oh, I gotta turn off my
Oh.
gotta turn off my music.
There we go.
Hold up. Goodbye, Spotify. And we are back in.
I am at 10.
Now we oh, I am not at 10. I forget how we remove the time thingy as well.
It'll be at the bottom. You click the little eye, it'll just remove time controls after you get to 10. We get started again.
This is too big brain for me, dude.
So the bottom left of the screen, there's a little eye that's for interface visibility, or you can hit I to bring it up.
Yeah, I need to remove the
The
recording.
I key. And then,
time
yeah, and then you
controls.
just click off time controls.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But we gotta
Yeah.
hit play
I
together
paused
first
at
before
10.
we do
You
that.
good?
Alright.
3,
Yep.
2,
Count us
1,
down.
go.
Alright.
Perfect.
And you can hit O, the O key to bring up the scoreboard.
Yeah, beautiful. See, we're learning.
There we go. And we're off.
Off with just a couple of hitches,
So it looks
but
like-
we're off.
It looks like BiscuitForce5 is going to go right ahead and go into this bot lane. Bush looks like they're going to set up for an invade, although they do have that Nautilus hook, and it seems like a 4-man defense on the side of Saving Private Reckless.
Yo. Oh,
And they're here, they're going to use the
this
Fog
is
of
gonna be
War.
5v4.
Jin
This is
might
gonna
have
be
been
so
spotted
spicy.
there. They have this loop
Oh
around. Here you
no,
go.
the fight started out! And Morpheus gonna get caught up and locked down. That's the first blood. Going over to Rob, actually, on this Dark Harvest Jin, and that is bad news bears for the spot lane if you're saving Private Reckless.
Absolutely, and that invade actually paying off in dividends, trading Biscuit Hat's 3-minute Ignite for the 5-minute flash off of Packer Diehard 12, in addition to that 300 gold from Jin that he's going to get to spend. No, he did not recall. But regardless, they still got a huge cooldown off of that ADC.
Yeah, that's big. And actually, I did not know that apparently Packer Diehard 12 is subbing for So Reckless 596 tonight. Unless that's the same person, but I'm pretty sure it's not. So,
Yeah, it could not. Yeah, you're probably right. Well, does that change the team name to Saving Private Packer Diehard?
Packers, SPP. You know, maybe it does.
Look. Looking around the game, we see both junglers taking in a standard bot lane or bot side start, and we see dueling going ahead in the top lane. A far cry from what we thought would just be a farm fest.
Yeah, and this Nunu is already looking pretty unhealthy to start with. I'm not sure what that leash was going. Not sure what happened with that leash down there. Oh yeah, they probably backed a little late after they got the first blood. That would actually make sense. But I mean, he's Nunu. He just presses the Q button. He's good.
He just has the double smite as he walks through the jungle, and we see continuous
Oh,
trading.
man.
Side does have the advantage in the early.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Gerbear forced to blow that flash early on in the bot lane. That's Jin Nautilus already causing some trouble, and the Rob actually has it back for Nino. Ooh!
Ooh, and the heal being traded for the flash from the side of Rob over here. Biscuit has showing his dominance on this Nautilus, though, and why it should be banned
So yeah,
against it.
actually a small whoopsie on Rob's part. When you flash forward for that combo, you were looking to drop the dancing grenade and then fourth shot, right? So that way you get the maximum damage from the fourth shot. And if he had done that, he would have killed him there. Speaking of killing people there, this Nunu is going to get turned on and murdered in this mid lane. Sweet Daddy there with the successful kill.
Yeah, a bit of a communication mismatch there with the Nunu going in for the fight first, not having OG Juiceman force out. Wow, that's really his name. OG Juiceman forcing out the cooldown start. Is it really OG Juiceman versus Juice Be Daddy?
Tank Field Juice, actually. So it still would have been a Juice if he's Juice Be Juice if he hadn't changed his name. Battle of the Juices. So what is your favorite juice, Legends? Like orange juice, apple juice, Juice Be Daddy?
How I miss casting with you. My favorite juice is probably orange juice. I am a Floridian, so it is what I gotta
love
agree.
you! Orange juice is so great!
And orange juice doesn't really taste the same once you're out of Florida too, but you should come down and just try it sometime.
You know, if there's one thing I'll do in Florida, it's drink orange juice. I don't know if I'm going down there for much else though, except Disney World and Universal Studios. Actually, I hear those are pretty cool.
They're pretty fun. The rest of Florida doesn't really exist. Getting back into the game though, we'll look at the jungler matchup. Obviously, Happy by 3 having an early death sent him far behind, but Morpheus spending quite a bit of time top trying to find a gank, allowed Happy by 3 to come back into this game a little bit in terms of farm. We have those early kills, but no gold has been spent from these kills, so no real advantage has actually been produced yet.
Yeah, so in terms of looking at that jungle pathing there, timers on non-buff jungle camps are actually 2 minutes 30 seconds, so generally speaking for optimal pathing, you're assuming like nothing happens, no lane ganks or anything like that, you know, nothing crazy. You're generally looking to come back to the first camp that you killed after your buff, around 4 minutes 30 seconds if you clear is pretty good. So that's a very useful timer to look out for if you're a jungle main out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. And here we see Borkfius looking for another gank bot lane, but it looks like none of the lanes are in position for him to gank.
Yeah, and OG Juiceman as well taking some damage in that mid lane, having some mana issues as well. Juice Be Daddy really asserting his dominance, but in this top lane though, Happy by 3 is here, and where's that snowball going? I don't know, but the flash comes out. Mudkip's getting stunned up by the Rupture, and the kill goes over to Necro Guy.
Yeah, what an excellent flash by Happy by 3 to make sure that W of his, I actually don't know that spell name, Snowball Barrage, actually ends up stunning Scion after to set up for that Rupture, and it was just a perfect combo by the two to secure that kill.
Bot lane, Biscuit Hat dropping the Ignite, Packer Die Hard once again, getting out by the skin of his chinny chin.
Yeah, and I think credit has to be given to Gerbear there, making sure that Packer Diehard survives with that Lantern, while Packer Diehard still got away without even having to burn his flash
and
there.
If I am Packer Diehard Gerbear right now, this bot lane could be going so much worse, but it isn't. They're with an 8 CS, but Juiceman mid lane though. Oh, you hate to see it. In bot lane though, Packer Diehard getting dove. That's going to be the 1-for-1 as Turret's saying hi to a lot of Biscuit Hat's health bar down there. Rob though, clean 2-0.
Yeah, well done by Rob taking advantage of that new play by Biscuit Hat. The side of Biscuit Force 5 really got the advantageous trade in that bot lane duel. However, looking at mid, that Juice Me Daddy decided to even it up by taking that solo kill on OG Juiceman. OG Juiceman really just not respecting the death of minions around him, preventing the charm.
So, so far the story for Biscuit Force 5 in this early game has been, I'd say questionable execution, but really good results though. Yeah,
absolutely. And they have two lanes. It seems like they have two lanes that can really just absorb pressure. You're not really trying to make power plays through Malzahar or Cho'Gath, right? So they're really depending on this Rob Biscuit Hat bottom lane to win the game.
Yeah, and I'm already liking the style from Biscuit Force 5. You know, it might not be the prettiest thing, but, you know, they're getting in there. They're scrappy doing. They're making plays happen. They're getting stuff done. And, you know, right now, it's having varied results. The game's tied up, but overall they have two lanes that are doing pretty splendidly, and they can look to transition into the mid game more effectively now because of that.
Yeah, without a doubt. And now that both solo lanes have hit 6, neither of them are now really at risk of dying, provided they have their flash up or near their turret. I really would like to see Happy by 3 play more towards his bot side here. Just if they could cut the map in half and he just sits bot the rest of the game, they can control every dragon with bot's lead.
Nice kill for Happy by 3 over here. Morpheus taking extremely low. The hook comes in. The slap. Nunu gives him the whack with Willem's fist, and that is a kill for Happy by 3.
Yeah, what an excellent dueling pressure by Happy by 3 over there, taking advantage of the fact that Nunu really does have a stronger early game versus Mordekaiser, especially when Mordekaiser hasn't hit his items yet. Mordekaiser not recognizing that fact really does give up his life as a result.
Yeah, more likely could have turned that fight if he was 6, but Happy by 3 with the recognition that Morpheus had not yet hit that level 6, and as well with the steady true damage of the skirmishers saver over the fight going to allow him to take down that Mordekaiser in a moment where you wouldn't expect him to perhaps die.
Yeah, well played. As we go into this, we just see Mordekaiser shrink back into jungle, recognizing that he needs to find some items to fight. And it looks like he's going to be building a...
Ooh, some action coming down both lanes, but it's going to be bot lane as Gare Bear finds the hook combo onto Rob, and that's a kill for Packard Diehard. Great follow-up.
And while we have this lull at the moment, we'll take a look at chat over here. We have OP just dropping some horrible memes for Legends Never Die. He's about to poet all over this chat. We only have one vote from Labby saying BF5 win, and so far it looks like he might be right with that 200 gold lead.
Yeah, Biscuit Force 5 is showing up right now in terms of their early game pressure, and I think it's going to pay dividends for them. They seem to be the more proactive team going into this early game, but Juice Me Daddy, though, in this mid lane. Whoa, ultimate's popped, and the Nether Grass comes in, but Juice Me Daddy going to drop the solo kill before getting cleaned up by Happy by 3, and Biscuit have the shutdown, though, onto Happy by 3.
Yeah, Juice Me Daddy really showing his prowess on this Ahri, actually, dominating his lane sufficiently, and really only getting only paying up when our BS5 brings more support.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, you know, his name is Juice Me Daddy, but I think he's the daddy, and the rest of his team is getting juiced right now. Because if I'm, if I'm saving Private Reckless, I'm jumping on the Juice Me Daddy train 100%. That's our way back into this game. But another hook comes in on the bot lane. Pack Diehard brought extremely low. That's some big damage here. The curtain call comes out. Gare Bear taking extremely low. Great flash to get away from that. Oh my god, but the hooks, they're relentless in this bot lane. Great stopwatch, but is it going to be enough? I likely doubt it. Oh my god, he's living.
Wow. Every time they have a duel in this bot lane, the bot lane on the side of Saving Private Reckless just barely ekes out alive. And as we saw in the chat a little earlier, all these pings are coming on the dragon. So I'd like to see them pull down Necro Guy and Happy by 3 towards this dragon, use their global advantage, these giant monster munching abilities, and just control these objectives.
Yeah, and this bot lane is really paying dividends for watchable stream content this game. This is a great time.
Yeah, as you put it earlier, scrappy doing. And actually looking at the summoner spells, Necro Guy does have the teleport up, so this would be the time to move Happy by 3 down. Looks like Happy by 3 has a different game plan, though. He's going to try to gank the side, kill him, and then move, hopefully, to the dragon or
this one. I don't exactly see damage being screamed out here, but it might work. They have ults, they have the sums. The flash out! The unstoppable onslaught. Great escape by Mudkips.
That was actually the best case scenario they could have gotten out of that, and I'm really glad that they actually went forward with it. I mean, they had a game plan, they went with it, and they got the flash and ultimate out of sight. Now if they want to control this objective, it's theirs.
So that would have been a great opportunity by that, by Saving Private Reckless there, because they knew that the bot lane on the side of Biscuit Force 5 just back and the Nunu is top, they probably could have stuck a dragon there.
Yeah, I'm hoping to watch Borkfius here take his Ari lead and take the dragon, but instead they're actually just going to try to contest this.
Yeah, that's Harold.
Wow.
Juice Me Daddy. There's some stuff happening right here as the Nunu ult comes out, and they're running away, but Necro Guy extremely low. The flash away to avoid the charm. The flash never grasp, and Juice Me Daddy, but extremely low. Mudkips brings down Necro Guy, but Juice Me Daddy pays for it in return. Kill goes over to Happy by 3, but it looks like they want more Mudkips, but so low. Happy by 3 slaps him down with that Nunu bot, and Borkfius now looking for the kill on OG Juice, man. This is undead Mudkips is just chilling out here, doing absolutely nothing while he's sitting in the death realm.
I've actually never seen that in spectator mode before, and that was so cool.
The classic 2v1 dive. You stay under tower in bot lane with no silence against the Nautilus Gen, you're basically friggin' dead.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta just understand that you can't 2v1 under a tower and just walk away from the tower. If your support goes off to help somebody else, that's okay. Just walk away from your tower instead of giving away the 300 gold for free.
I respect the flash. Keep yourself safe. I feel like he could have gotten behind that minion easily with no time to spare, but well, with a lot of time to spare, but I respect the flash.
Yeah, some people say better safe than sorry, right? And Rob and Biscuit getting away with murder, killing that Varus, and setting up, once again, this Drake possibility. Cho'Gath still has his teleport, and Sion is already down here. I'm hoping they can really set this up.
Literally getting away with murder.
Yeah.
I
don't even know her.
Usually I say that and then you've grown, but you're stealing my role this time.
I had to put us back in the mood a bit. You know, we hadn't casted together in such a long time.
Usually I'm more annoying. Oh man, Giver, you're looking aggressive. Yeah, Buckle lands on the Biscuit Hat. Maybe not the target you're looking for, but that's the target that's going to have to do about. Happy by 3 is here to answer. Borkby is taken extremely low now, doing his best to run away on the side, but it's going to be to no avail. Rob gets the takedown.
Yeah, I want to make a point to look at the items in the inventory of Borkfizz. He's actually going to go full tank Mordekaiser here, or at least the Cinderhole. And then armor afterwards would signify full tank.
Yeah, it definitely would. Speaking of spicy items here, the GLP from Cho'Gath in the top lane.
Is he even he's not even glacial.
Oh,
we have another
man,
fight break out.
Comes out, and Gaming is just going to get absolutely exploded. That's another kill, another Dark Harvest stack, another day in the life of Rob.
Yeah, and with this pressure sent out, they can just fall back onto the dragon, pick it up. They know Sion doesn't have his TP as he burnt it earlier. Malzahar put pressure in the mid lane. This is a free dragon. If the side of Saving Pride Reckless decides to fight for this, they're only going to have 3 members.
Yeah, but I don't... They're feeling a little tentative here, and I'm not quite sure why. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, between Consume and Feast, there should be no way that this could be contested.
Although, I would add that there are so many good summoner spells to have, like, so many secure spells to have here that they could actually miss the sync and get it stolen. That's happened before, but that is the wrong place to be there, Borkfius. Yeah. You hate to see it.
Yeah, Borkfius really being caught out, not recognizing there was a ward in that tribe bush. Really is a joke. He should really switch to Sweeper right now so he can avoid those moments. But kudos to Biscuit Force 5 for really capitalizing on their lead and taking what they could.
I mean, that's the Biscuit Hat special. You hate to see it, but if you're Biscuit Hat right now, I think you actually love to see it.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. Just another day in the life, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of another day in the life here, Silence just gonna ult out. See ya! The old Tokyo drift.
Yeah, the classic Sion pushing to use his ult as a way out. Unfortunately, that's not a bad loss of his ultimate as that comes up very quickly. And really, he got away with that free tower top. Good on Mudkips up here to take something across the map when he knew they were going to lose.
So I mean, we were talking about getting away with murder earlier. That definitely seems like murder, as long as you can extend the legal definition of murder towards inanimate objects, such as piles of rubble that were once towers. But, yeah. Good job by Mudkips in this top lane, though.
Yeah, he's really playing up to his part. And as we move into the mid game, we'll see that items have been completed. First items on every player. I like that Varus decided to go for this Bork build instead of poke build, as there are 3 tanks sitting on the side of Biscuit Force 5. As we move into mid game, though, it's going to be scary to see what Jin can do with his lead.
This is very scary. He's IE Fire Cannon already and the magical boots. So that's actually terrifying to play against if you're saving Private Reckless right now. I would add that a notable Jin build that's been gaining popularity here. A fun fact, I think I have the right to talk about this. Actually, hold on. Fight's breaking out in the mid lane here. Gare Bear's probably extremely low and eviscerated once again, paying the iron price for his team's mispositions.
I'm sorry, I just like checked out for a moment there.
Hey, check back in.
I'm checking right back in now. Yeah, and watch this Scare Bear go in just like that. Really cost his team that lead, and now they're just back on the defensive, pushing as Biscuit Force 5 can use their lead once again to try to siege down this mid tower.
Saving Private Reckless getting caught a little unaware going into this mid game. Like we said, that one strong point is going to be Juice Me Daddy on that Ahri, a pretty commanding lead in this matchup here. I think I'd like to see is more playing towards that Ahri, you know, especially there's some wards that are being extended right now. You have that, you know, that pink ward under their mid lane turret there that Saving Private Reckless can really start to look up to clean some of this ward pressure up and start to, you know, get a better stranglehold on this game, start creating the pick opportunities they need.
I couldn't agree more. And Opie makes a good point. If the side of SPR does stall enough, Varus will tear through tanks if he's going to go for that Bork Hurricane combo or any kind of Bork attack speed combo. And right now, Biscuit Force 5 are playing into that by funneling all of their resources in mid, while the side of SPR does have ample weight.
That's actually very important as well. It gives him the DPS to differentiate himself from Jin, especially going forward into that late game. You know, the Varus remains untouched in a team fight late game, and he's actually going to be pretty friggin' scary, especially once he completes the Rage Blade. So they're looking for the 2-item spike on this Varus here to start to, you know, actually be able to essentially play the game at all when it comes to team fights, because Biscuit Force 5 has a domineering hold on team fights right now, but oh god, you speed daddy, no! Oh man, that's rough, and it's going to be the rest of the team going down too. Gear Bear goes down. Now Borkfia's going to get dove under the tower. The Death Realm comes out though. Dropped on Biscuit Hat, going to allow him likely to escape from that one unscathed though. And Mike Gibbs is here as well, saying hi. Ooh, that shield keeping Borkfias alive from the 4th shot.
Yeah, it seems every ability was used there to save the life of Borkfias.
Saving Private Borkfias, you might say.
Yeah. And while that fight did seem like it was just one death, it's also going to cost them this Infernal Drake that's coming up.
That's a rough one, and especially because this is a Jin. Infernal Drake is really good on Jin. Jin is one of the top 3 champions in the game, I believe, when it comes to benefiting off of Infernal Drake, just because his natural AD is so high because it scales off of both attack speed and attack damage. The Drake buffs AD and AP, right? And it's flat, and it's a flat percentage.
Right.
So Jin's sitting at 900 AD. You have like 2 Infernal Drakes. Hold on, the Unstoppable Onslaught comes out. He's gonna get suppressed right up. That Sonic comes in, and it's a slobber knocker. Everyone's just melting on the side of Biscuit Force 5. Looks like this is the fight that Saving Private Reckless is needed. Rob gonna get taken down. The flash hook from Gare Bear. It's a triple kill for Juice Me Daddy and a clean ace for Saving Private Reckless. Well, almost clean. Pay my respects to Mudkips.
I mean, Mudkips played his role fantastically. They might have lost the dragon, but they got so much off of it. And while we did see Juice Me Daddy pick off the finishing kills, if we could see the damage done in that fight, I without a doubt bet Borkfias dealt at least 5,000 damage in that fight. Every one of his spells, including his passive, hit 4 or more people the entire fight. Yeah, and it was just incredible to watch.
Daddy there as well on the Ahri, just absolutely shredding both of them. So Packer Diehard comes in to clean up, and there's literally, like, there's nothing to clean up at that point. The Mitch Jungle duo just absolutely eviscerated Biscuit Force 5 after Mudkips' initiation. And, you know, if I'm Biscuit Force 5, I'm revisiting the way I posture around these dragons because, you know, the pick, the engage, the explosive, bursty fights like that, that's exactly what Saving Private Reckless wants.
Yeah, and I gotta give kudos over to the team of Saving Private Reckless for going for that mid turret instead of that Baron right there. While they could have maybe gotten the Baron in time before the respawns, that mid turret is really important and it was guaranteed for them. And they have their golds reset and they could use that Baron to, as you said, bait better fights in the river again.
And with Cho'Gath Nunu, that's especially not a smite contest you want to play against. You know, it's not gonna be a good time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, speaking of Cho'Gath Nunu, Cho'Gath unfortunately has not eaten a single dragon this game. For him, he's just been denied by the Consume this time, and then by the 4th shot of Jin the first time.
Yeah, that's a rough one, boys.
Well, now that Borkvius has finished his Cinderhulk, it looks like he'll go right into Leandri's, so he is going to go for that health AP tank. I do like this when you're behind on the Mordekaiser to go for this tankier build, because you're really not looking to put out the ultimate deeps when you have 2 perfectly good DPS champions on your side.
Works very well because then it gives them a strong secondary tank option. With the initiation role Mudkips has been playing, now Borkvius can just sit straight in front of Packer Diehard, and you know, there's interesting outplay opportunities by casting the claw behind you, so you can actually peel for your AD carry like that if you try that. And he can he can just sit on people and be sure his AD carry doesn't die, and he can output a decent, consistent DPS in fights along with his kit. Also, you know, someone dives on the Packer Diehard, boop, press Death Realm. Well, looks like your AD carry's saved.
Yeah, between Sion, Borkvius, and Thresh, Pakadai has ample peel, and there's really nobody diving for him on that team on the side of Biscuit Force 5, so it's just straight front to back fights. I imagine Varus actually outputs more DPS than Jin ever will.
Yeah, honestly, if you're looking for lockdown on the side of Biscuit Force 5, it's really in the hands of OG Juiceman. Go for that, you know, the Flash Nether Grasp, or it's going to be on Biscuit Hat to find the initiation they're all needing, because they don't really have anything that dives. Their forms of lockdown are all pick styles of lockdown, right? Because Malzahar needs the flash to be able to do something with the Nether Grasp, or he needs someone to face check. And Biscuit Hat just needs someone to be out of position if he wants to straight up engage a fight with the Nautilus, right? So it's kind of tough for them to find opportunities to dive onto this backline on the side of Saving Private Reckless. And now that the Ahri's in a good spot, and the Varus is slowly catching back up, he does have his Zeal seconds. That's kind of interesting. Would rather seen a Rage Blade there, but now that he is catching up, that's going to be a scary backline.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, the way you lined it up just sounds like Biscuit Force 5 actually needs to be the team that's playing around bushes while...
Yep, and here we go. Biscuit Hat starts fight under turret, but he's going to get CC'd up and killed under turret. Morpheus taking them into the Death Realm. Happy by 3, stuck under this turret. That's the shutdown from Necro Guy, actually, in the bot lane as he TP's in to join this fight. Unfortunately, there's no fight to join because 3 of his team members are already dead.
Yeah, so back to your earlier point, when we were analyzing this game in the beginning of the draft, we were going to say that Saving Private Reckless had to play for picks while the side of Biscuit Force 5 had to play for teamfights, but it looks like it's completely the other way. Saving Private Reckless definitely just wants to run into teamfight after teamfight, whereas Biscuit Force 5 needs to be the ones that find these bush ganks or death brushes.
Yeah, it's looking like it's playing that way at this point because due to the way Biscuit Force 5 has played this mid-game, now Saving Private Reckless is in a commanding spot where one of their carries actually now has a pretty, you know, commanding lead. Juice Me Daddy has the ability to output a lot of damage in the fight. Morpheus is catching back up. Packer Diehard is catching back up. So the longer these fights go, the better that the better they're going to do. You know, in the early mid-game there, they needed the explosive fights, right? Because they were behind. The Varus wasn't coming online, but the Ahri was ahead. The Ahri was their saving grace. And so with the Mordekaiser burst, the Ahri burst, they got what they needed to come back into this game. And now finally you can start seeing, you know, a different way that their team comp works is going to start coming online as we transition into late game here.
Without a doubt, and actually, I want to bring some light towards Necro Guy's build. I do think that he didn't pair his root or keystone with his items very well. If you were going to build those items, he could have just gone glacial and taken advantage of them. However, because he did go grasp, I do think he should have just built straight health and then just walk through the team, maybe like righteous glory through the team, and then just feast down the Varus. I think that would have been a way to delete the Varus out of the fight, or Ahri.
And the Twin Shadows. Honestly, with Glacial Augment, the GOP Twin Shadows would have been a pretty good option as well to just control the fight and give them a little more breathing room. So I think either way you cut it, those could have been used effectively in a team fight setting. I feel like this is just all around the strictly worst option.
Right, absolutely. He's really he's doing the half of each, not best of either. So we'll see how it works out. Perhaps he goes to more tanky builds. It looks like he's building that right
Borkbeus is
story
running
now.
him down now, cast to the Death Realm. Necro Guy gonna have some issues getting away from this one, and he's gonna get burned up by that Leandres. Leandres, Tank Buster special item, doing his job right there, and that is one dead Cho'Gath.
Yeah. As we
That
walk
was
into the
smart.
mid game, the Mordekaiser tax has to come in. Malzahar already has that QSS, so it's weird that he actually flashed that. Perhaps forgetting and not being so used to having that QSS in his inventory.
Probably. And, ooh, Charm just goes wide. But the Nethergrass over the wall. Here comes Suppression from Biscuit Hat, and the Curtain Call comes out, but they're going to be able to protect him from the Curtain Call. Here, though, down the hook over the wall. What's going to happen? Ooh, the Flash Absolute Zero from Happy by 3, and now they're looking for more. Juice Me Daddy here. Can he escape? He is out, and this fight is going to be reset. All in all, nobody died.
Wait, I'm sorry. There was heel cutting on Happy by 3 right there. I'm not sure what applied it to him. That's so weird.
Because the people that got grievous wounds were Katarina and Cled.
Oh,
Varus.
Varus.
Yes, yes.
Varus has it with
It's
W.
his E. When you stand in Varus's E, it applies grievous wounds to you.
Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. Okay, I was like, I'm looking for Morello's, and I was like, I must be missing something.
I was about to be like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, I know my AD carries.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's we shift into, we're about to transition into the late game, and the Baron dance is about to come up. How do you think Biscuit Force 5 really comes back into this game? I know it doesn't look like they're drastically behind, but it seems like they've gotten the poorer part of each fight.
Yeah, I think Biscuit Force 5 just needs to clean it up a little bit. You know, the Scrappy Doom was working through the early game and was getting the advantages they needed, but they need to focus a little more on transitioning their advantages and playing this comp, you know, the way it's supposed to work. And why is the Ruin King coming in now for Rob? He's looking really to kite out these fights.
Wow.
That's a better item than you might expect on Jhin. And, you know, we was just talking about cleaning it up a bit, and they found Gare Bear in the jungle. It's gonna be a free pick for them.
Yeah, and we see Happy by 3 tracing down Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser might just turn this with
Yeah,
his death
team's
round.
not there. Happy by 3, wisely backing out. They're not feeling that one. And Mudkip's currently pushing down this top lane. Biscuit Force 5 is going to have to make a decision, and there they go. It's going to be that Baron. What can Saving Private Reckless do? This should be the turn. It is going to be the turn. The hook lands. That's the shutdown for OG Juice Man. Curtain Call comes out in this team fight. Juice Me Daddy can survive over here, but the hook comes out. The flash hook on the Mudkits. That is one beefy boy Scion, though. And now they're still drawing this out. This contest still going, and now the Varus is here. The cleanup crew is here. Rob goes down. Biscuit Hat goes down. The Nunu Absolute Zero. They're trying to finish this Baron. I just don't think it's going to be enough, though. Necro Guy fighting for his life in the back of a pit. He gets taken down. Focusing the Nunu. He can consume Smite. No, the Charm. The Charm is going to protect that Baron, and now that should be a free Baron over to the side of Saving Private Reckless. What an extended Baron fight.
Yeah, unfortunately for the side of Biscuit Force 5, they had 3 people in the fight and 2 people on the Baron. The 2 people on the Baron were Nunu and Cho'Gath, and Cho'Gath is fighting it from behind, so he's taking the spike damage the whole time. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him the Baron and the entire fight. Saving Private Reckless is just going to happily take both.
So, you know, you remember like the Gru meme where he's got like 4 panels, right? And then like the first thing is something, and then the second thing is like something, and the third thing is like something that goes completely wrong, and then the last one is like Gru just staring at it. Like that's kind of how I feel on that that Baron play. They're like, okay, so get a pick in jungle, check. Bait Baron, check. They're like, turn for Baron, check. Still die anyway. Wait, what? That's how I feel right now.
Absolutely, and we have a fight coming up.
Yep, and here we go now. Borkbeus extremely low, but that's one taking Mordekaiser here. Happy by 3, barely escaping. The QSS coming, but OG Juice Man going down on the front line. Necro Guy finding the kill on Borkbeus on the side, though. That's one low as Ball's backline, though. Packer Diehard doing the best he can to run. Biscuit Force 5 has found the better of this one. Running away. Rob's kiting away from Mudkips over here. They're trying to run away from the Scion. That's the slam bam, thank you ma'am coming out. Brickyard 500 Scion over here doing his absolute best, but it's not going to be enough. The shutdown goes over to Rob, and a 3-for-1 from Biscuit Force 5.
Wow, and I'm just impressed at how absolutely tanky the side of Biscuit Force 5 is. I think they should have absolutely lost that fight, but Packer Diehard being deleted early in the fight means that they just don't have the DPS to take on these tanks. Ari is traditionally awful in the tanks, as it takes her at least 10 rotations per tank to kill them. So I'm excited to see where this game goes from now, but they might be the side looking for team fights again.
Honestly, this has been one humdinger of a game, if you ask me. So much back and forth, so much action, and both sides have an Infernal Drake now, actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how item changes are going to come into. We do see the Wretched slowly picked up by Cho'Gath, so he can run down Packer Diehard every one of these fights now. Plus the slows, there's not enough fuel for Packer Diehard to get away, so they just have to invest a lot of damage into the Cho'Gath. Meanwhile, Jin's going to fire from the back line. I'm excited to see who wins this late
he's got
game.
the Righteous Glory. What were we saying? Can I speak English? Check this man for stream ghosting. He's in our heads.
Hopefully, I think that Negatron cloak, if I'm wrong, is gonna go towards that item that gives you a bunch of health suddenly, and he just noms down.
Oh yeah, the classic nom, dude. So, you know, you've heard of the Brickyard 500, but what if the Brickyard's actually just charcoal briquets, and it's a charcoal grill, and Cho'Gath's just feasting?
Alright, looking at item builds after that. We see Packer Diehard's actually putting out a wit's end of his third item. I think I would have preferably wanted to see a Ginsu's to apply that Borg damage faster.
Oh man, yeah, I was reaching for it. I was really reaching for it. And you know, I'm seeing this Blade of Ruin King Jin, and I'm still seeing shatters of the. You remember the Ginsu's Rage Blade Jin build?
Oh yeah, we got the ridiculously high AD.
Busted. It was so much fun too, because it's like Rage Blade Jin. What the heck? Speaking of what the heck is that Mordekaiser doing? Good night.
Yeah, Borg's not as tanky as he really wishes he is. He even has the Zanya up and the Death Round up to survive it, but he didn't get either off in time, trying to get all of his spells off before he triggered either of them.
No tank, getting locked down and solo killed by 5 people likely is not gonna result in a very fun time, no matter what champion you're playing.
Yeah, but as that Spirit Visage comes back in, it's going to be even less damage coming out of OG Juiceman, everybody but Rob. It's going to be up to Rob to kill this Morpheus. We're going to go into a slaughterfest of a game as we go into the late
game.
We're
talking itemization here. That Adaptive Helm on Mudkips is actually exactly what you want to see here. Normally Adaptive Helm, not the most useful item right now. It's not in a good spot. It's just like stat for stat, it's not a very cost-efficient item, but it actually does shine into damage over time right now because, you know, they have Rob, they have OG Juiceman. Yeah, that's basically the only damage they have on the side of this team. And Rob doesn't really have sustained DPS, so Mudkit's surviving, doing a good job on that top lane, and building that Adaptive Helm at this point directly counters OG Juiceman's damage over time, meaning there's pretty much nothing on their team that they can do that's actually going to kill this Scion. So now they're stuck with the team being the picks, because if I'm saving Private Reckless right now, we have the front line in that Scion, we have the DPS in that Varus, we have the explosive fight starts with the Thresh. So on the other hand, like, it's more of a jack of all trades comp, but it does more than everything it needs to right now.
Yeah, if I'm the side, I definitely want to see a Randuin's come out of it, and then followed by maybe a last item Titanic Hydra or a Sterix Gauge, and then he can bait team fights. He can base check every bush as if he's alone, and then try to start a team fight, maybe get every cooldown used on him, and then the rest of the team just comes in and finishes it off, and it should just be clean for them.
The item we haven't seen in a while, the good old Gargoyle Stone Plate. I'd like to see that one.
That's what I think Cho'Gath's building, yeah. That would work great on Scion too, yeah, just to be that damage soak.
Because he's the only real tank on their team. Just get the Leandro Zanyas from Mordekaiser. I think it would be so clean. Biscuit though flashing away on that bot side. It's going to be a blown summoner for Dragon, and that's very important because that's the pick from the side of Biscuit Force 5 gone. Now really the only consistent engage they can look for is going to be a flash Nether Cross from OG Juiceman, and that's really dangerous to extend yourself into, especially against that comp unless you have a very clean pick. and he's also stuck top lane right now, dealing with this Scion, this big, beefy adaptive helm Scion.
Yeah, without the Malzahar there, that's half their damage gone. I would have liked to see Sion.
Here we go, another fight started up. OG Juiceman teleporting in. Morpheus, though, put Biscuit Hat in the death realm. That poor Nautilus is a glutton for punishment. But Morpheus, though, going to get murdered over the wall. And so that's going on. We have another fight in mid lane. Necker Guy brought extremely low here. OG Juiceman, though, getting mowed down. This is so much DPS from Packer Diehard. The heal. He's not even kiting. He's just standing there. It's a triple kill for Packer Diehard.
I'm pretty sure Packer Diehard's attack speed went to 3.
Yeah, that was
right
a
there.
lot of
That was
damage. Thinking of
insane.
a lot of damage. Goodbye, Rob. And goodbye, Biscuit Hat. Packer Diehard has finally caught up. He is playing League of Legends right now, but Biscuit Force 5 is definitely not getting to play League of Legends now because this comp has come online.
Yeah, now that Packer Diehard just hit his point, there is no way a full 5v5 ever goes in the face of Necker, or into the benefit of Necker Guy. Even if Necker Guy rushed towards Packer Diehard, there's just so much peel on the side of Saving Private Reckless to win. How do you think Biscuit Force 5 even wins this game at this point?
Picks. That's really the only option. The win condition throughout the early mid game we were talking for Saving Private Reckless, the burst, is going to be the only win condition for them now. If Packer Diehard doesn't die, they lose the fight. That's plain and simple. He needs to be the first to die on the side of Saving Private Reckless, or Biscuit Force 5 is not going to be able to close this game.
And that just seems so unrealistic with the spooky ghosts in the Ari's thing. So they'll never have to face check a bush. They have the tanks to face check for them. They have the Thresh Lantern hooks. I just don't see them picking them. Actually, fun fact for everybody in chat: if you type spooky ghosts in the items box to search for items, it'll actually bring up the item.
Sounds familiar. I feel like there was something that you could type for Monamune that would bring it up. It was like blue something. I forget. Yeah, there's some very interesting things you can type in the item box to get things to pop up. I'm pretty sure before you could type Frozen Fist to get Iceborne Gauntlet to pull up, but you know,
you can still do it, I think. Yeah.
And I mean,
you can do now. Yeah, because I do that. I still do it. I call it Frozen Fist still.
You know, the naming, the name basis for Orin's Iceborne Gauntlet upgrade. Actually, is that upgraded Iceborne from Orin's Living Forge? Not Living Forge, whatever the heck that thing's called, is actually called Frozen Fist. It might be Living Forge, yeah, but
I think it is Living Forge.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as we go into this late game, I think the final fight opportunity that BF5 has is to fight this team while they're trying to pick up Baron.
This team, this
Any
is
other fight
likely what they need. The snowball's coming in. Can Juice Me Daddy escape? Oh, he's in a tight spot right now. Happy by 3's coming in, but can they kite back? Packer Diehard, the arrow goes wide, and now Biscuit Force 5 gonna get turned on. Gare Bear goes down, but Packer Diehard is just spraying out DPS in this back line, and that's gonna be another mostly clean ace for Saving Private Reckless. I feel like these guys are king of the mostly clean ace, but right now they're the kings of game 1 because it looks like that's gonna be the GG, and Saving Private Reckless gonna walk it down this mid lane.
Yeah, certainly well drafted by the side of Saving Private Reckless. And if Varus isn't the highest damage person on this team, I definitely think it's going to be Morpheus. His AoE in every one of these team fights, just catching every tank, is just insane how much damage he does.
I'm really sorry I doubted Saving Private Reckless. One of the things I forgot to cover in this champion select was if it reaches late game, they have no answer to the tanky Scion, and I really disrespected the Scion in my analysis. And, you know, I regret that, because looking back at that now, that was like a clear win condition for them, was to get Scion very tanky. And that's pretty much exactly what happens. You know, you go fourth in that game.
Yes.
Easy peasy.
That's definitely the threat of drafting Jhin, for sure. You have to win throughout the early game or have a backup late game scaling damage source. And they just really didn't do that. They put all their eggs in a basket, and it did not pay out. But good game to both sides. They both had a game plan. They both went with it. And just one game plan ended up, as the games in PMA LCS usually do, drag on and on and on. The late game of SPR won out.
And so now we're going to talk MVPs. If you got to give the game 1 MVP to anyone, who do you think it's going to be?
All right, so it's easy to say, way to go, Packer Diehard, like you did so much damage in the late game, right? But like he was like an auto turret, and I'm not trying to invalidate his success as an ADC in this game. He did play very well. But once we got to that, like, All right, but once we got to that late game, it was just tanks versus the 3.0 attack speed auto turret Varus that shreds through your health bar, right? So like I just don't feel like I can give it to him
Yeah.
here, right? And so I do want to say Mudkips did apply pressure all over the map. It was just so strong what he did. He made the plays happen for his team. When the team was losing dragons, he was taking towers. He was setting up those fights. He did sacrifice his life for that dragon, so he has to be one of my choices. And the other choice I have to give it to, I think, is an obvious pick as well, is Juice Me Daddy. He dominated his lane. He proved that he could use his Ari ferociously. He proves that he can't just play like those melee assassins aren't his only assassin. So if I had to pick, I'd probably give it to. I want to give it to Juice Me Daddy, but Mudkips is also in my mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, you know, in terms of my MVP selection, I feel like Juice Me Daddy is the obvious one, and Mudkips is the sleeper one. And not to be slept upon are...
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to give the MVP to Gare Bear because there were just a lot of opportunities where he just kind of got caught out. But I do have to give a very strong honorable mention to Gare Bear, though. Some of those hook plays, pretty clean, my guy.
Yeah, absolutely. On the side of Saving Private Reckless, everybody had moment highs in the game, right? Like I couldn't have spoken more about how much damage Borgfuse did in those team fights. I mean, I probably could have spoken more about the auto turret and his pet lantern walking around. You can tell how I feel about the bot lane, but it but everybody had momentous highs. But some players just consistently played well throughout the entire game, and I think that has to go to both Juice Me
Yeah, I
Daddy
very
and
much agree
Mudkips.
with that one. And on that note, straw poll has been dropped in chat, and we are going to take a quick break for the sake of VOD purposes, cut the stream, and then bring it back on for some coming soon action. We will come back to you shortly with the results of the Game 1 MVP poll. Please do not go anywhere. We will see you soon.